or gas flow. So he demonstrated 200 years back, he demonstrated that if length of a tube is for example here, if it is 1 meter, then flow of fluid is, for example, if it is X, then if the length is double, then fluid is reduced in flow. So flow is directly proportional to, inversely proportional to length. So flow or volume delivered is equal to, hello, flow or volume delivered is equal to pressure difference between 2 points into a constant into fourth power of radius, the radius of the tube, fourth power of radius divided by 8 into viscosity of the fluid into length of the tube. So if the length is long, the flow will be less. So I'll come one after another in our different clinical scenario in day-to-day life. Then the volume delivered is directly proportional to fourth power of radius. So little change in radius will give a huge difference in the volume delivered. Huge difference in the volume delivered. So this is two different principles. Here, next is your viscosity. So viscosities of water versus viscosity of oil versus viscosity of honey. So as because viscosity is low in water, so water flow will be more. In case of oil, it will be in between, and honey it will be less. So the flow is inversely proportional to viscosity or eta. And here is the pressure difference. Flow is directly proportional to pressure. So I will give one example each in different respiratory diseases. So this is my first slide, and this is the continuation of first slide, that flow or Q is directly proportional to pressure difference across these 2 points, especially in a straight pipe. Then flow is directly proportional to radius. Then flow is inversely proportional to length. If length increases, flow reduces, and flow is inversely proportional to viscosity. If viscosity is increased, flow is reduced. So this is the 4 basic principles of Pasoulis equation. Now this is the situation in many rural hospital, and 20 years back in our hospital also, we don't have this central line of oxygen. We had few number of cylinders, and in December months, it is a very crowded hospital with lots of bronchiolitis and ARI getting admitted in, and we used to manage 1 cylinder for 3 babies. So with a flow meter of, for example, 5 liter here, this baby will get 5 liter. This baby will be getting around 3 liter, and this baby will be getting much less. So according to this Pasoulis equation, if we remember that if I can only mere increasing the length will not serve the purpose. So this is one application. If you increase the length, flow is reduced. So this baby probably needs maximum oxygen, but we are giving actually less. But visually, your meter shows it is 5 liter. Now, coming to the radius of the tube. So the common example here is bronchial asthma. In bronchial asthma, what happens? We all know that effective radius or effective diameter is reduced due to the inflammation as well as mucus secretion as well as neurogenic spasm. So 2 things happens. The effective radius or effective diameter is reduced, so flow is reduced. And next is resistance. Resistance is also increased. Resistance is directly inversely proportional to 4th power of radius. So minimal change in radius, minimal reduction in radius will increase the resistance to 16 times. So 2 things happens here. So the body will to overcome this crisis, the length is constant, the viscosity of atmospheric air is constant, your radius is reduced. So to overcome the crisis, the body will generate a huge amount of delta P, that is PIP, peak inspiratory pressure, by contraction of respiratory muscles. by contraction of respiratory muscles, body will generate huge P, delta P or PIP, and thereby the volume delivered will be little bit increased till the compensation is there. So this is the airway. Up to 15th division, there is conductive airway. After 15th division, there is respiratory airway. So here these healthy baby without any neuromuscular disease or without any cerebral palsy, without any thoracic deformity, can compensate by increasing delta P or inspiratory pressure. But these baby cannot. So any amount of wheeze or any amount of bronchoconstriction in a neuromuscular baby, this baby is suffering from SMA with a alert loop, or any baby who is suffering from cerebral palsy or thoracic deformity. So any amount is very dangerous because this baby cannot generate sufficient delta P or sufficient peak inspiratory pressure to make a compensation. So if you concentrate on pressure versus volume change, so here we call it compliance curve. The inspiratory curve is more concave. So the body will generate more PIP gradually up, and it ends here. But because expiration is passive, so the work done will not be that much. So expiratory loop will not be that much concave. So those who are working in PICU, this mechanism has a very good impression on the scalar loop. So our MAC ventilator has a very good scalar loop diagram, and to understand this scalar loop, let us concentrate here. This is this is the time pressure relationship. So when we start our inspiration, so the inspiration is started at this point, it increases sufficient PIP up to this point, and there is a sudden drop. So this sudden drop, this is the normal physiology. This sudden drop is due to the maximum dilatation of the alveolus, and distribution of the volume, distribution of the air or air oxygen mixture or whatever, distribution of the volume causes, or maximum dilatation of the alveoli causes this reduction, this sudden reduction at this point 1. And sorry, cursor is not working. And this is called plateau pressure or plateau phase or inspiratory pause, where no amount of air is moving in, but the alveolus are in maximum distension, and this is called indirect evidence of the pulmonary compliance. So this point is called inspiratory pause or plateau pressure, and then expiration starts, So we have got beginning of inspiration, we have got peak inspiratory pressure, we have got a fall due to maximum dilatation of the alveoli. Then this fall is persist at a particular peak called inspiratory pause or plateau pressure, then expiration starts. So in case of airway resistance due to any cause, in case of increased airway resistance due to any cause, maybe bronchiolitis, maybe asthma, maybe excessive secretion, maybe kinking of the pipe, maybe endotracheal tube obstruction, there will be this kind of graph, scalar loop, where the pressure PIP will be increased up to the tip, and there will be sudden drop. So by examining this scalar loop, I can tell that there is some problem in the airway resistance, but the compliance is normal. So those who are working in PICU, they can really imagine, or they can keep this picture in mind, that when you will face this kind of scalar loop, think of high inspiratory pressure due to any obstruction or due to any rise of resistance in the respiratory system or in the tubing or in the ET tube block. So anything can happen. So this is another application of this Pasolini's law. And next is viscosity. So the viscosity is very clear. This is honey or any sugary syrup. I already told you, and this is the viscosity of water. So this fluid will flow, a very minimal flow you will get in this fluid, where this fluid is maximum and air has a maximum as compared to the fluid. So if we place this viscosity here, this is called eta. So viscosity is inversely proportional to the flow. So this application, there is a very good application in bronchial asthma or bronchiolitis. So we can reduce the viscosity by addition of helium with oxygen. So if you can reduce the viscosity, because in case of bronchial asthma, length is constant, your radius has effective diameter or radius is reduced. Your this is the constant, and delta P already compromised by your respiratory muscle. So only way to help the system is reduction of viscosity. So there is a simple diagram that viscosity is low here, viscosity is maximum here. So if in a fluid a iron ball is allowed to drop in, then it will be up to this, the viscosity is very high, and it will be up to this, the viscosity is low. Similarly, if in case of heliox, the oxygen can move a longer distance in our respiratory tract if viscosity is reduced. So again I am repeating, in case of bronchial asthma, how heliox helps. The mixture of helium and oxygen will reduce this factor, will reduce this viscosity factor here, and as a result this ratio will be high and volume delivered will be high. So I think I am clear regarding the viscosity. So let me repeat once more that in case of bronchial asthma, the body has already generated a sufficient PIP, but in spite of generating PIP, if your hypoxia is not corrected, then there is a thought that probably a mixture of helium and oxygen will help here. How it helps? It helps by reducing the viscosity in your Pasolini's equation. So if viscosity is reduced, flow or volume delivered will be high. Next is, this is a prototype where this flow rate is 100 centimeter cube per second, and if this flow rate, in this flow rate we increase the length by double, then flow rate is 50%. From 100 it is 50. If we double the viscosity, again flow rate is reduced to 50%. If we double the pressure, flow rate is double. If we double the radius, flow rate is 16 times. Flow rate is 16 times. So this is a standard impression of how Pasolini's law affects the flow of air or liquid in a tube. Then it is another implication of Pasolini's law in our cardiovascular system. If there is no occlusion in healthy artery, then the given flow is 100 centimeter cube per minute, and given pressure is 120. Our heart generates a pressure of 120 millimeter of mercury on an average, and if it is reduced to 20%, if internal diameter reduced to 20%, see the effect of 20% reduction, there is 293, almost 3 times increase in the pressure. So this also signifies that effect of reduction in your internal diameter increases 3 times workload on the heart, Similarly, 50% reduction C is almost 20 times, 80% reduction is almost 75,000. So this is how one can imagine the implications of Pasolini's flow volume in healthy blood vessels. Next, I have only 2 slides left. Next, I'll try to give impression on Reynolds number, the streamline flow and turbulent flow. So Osborne Reynolds, 200 years back, an Irish engineer, he did a popular experiment. His experiment is that a colorful water is subjected to a small nozzle, here, and this dyed water is allowed to flow through a long tube. He has observed that if flow is regulated here, then a long distance is traveled by the colored water. If flow is little bit high, in the medium range, then is the water column, colored water column, inside the blue water column starts wavy or zigzaggy curvatures. Next, if it is very high, the flow is very high, there will be a mixture of this pink water column and blue water column, giving rise to a turbulent flow. So which one is turbulent flow, which one is laminar flow, it depends on the amount of discharge. It depends on the amount of discharge. If it is high, it will cause turbulence. If it is low, it will cause no turbulence. It will follow all the properties of streamline. So in our respiratory system also, the God has created our respiratory system in such a way that larger airway from trachea up to 15 generation, the conducting airway, or maybe up to 10 generation, to be very specific, it will be up to 10 generation, the larger airway, where there is turbulent flow of air. And subsequently, in the smaller airway, below 10 generation, there is laminar flow. So the character of laminar flow is the center velocity is very high, and in the periphery velocity is 0. So here, just imagine I have captured a picture of smoke. So if laminar flow is allowed to is not disturbed, then you will find that your incense stick, after its lead is stopped, then it will take a long course in the air. And if you disturb the laminar flow, then there will be lots of turbulence. The same thing happens in our respiratory tract. So during my residency, there was no ventilator. A ventilator came to ICH in 2005. So in our days, I really astonished that a respiratory rate of 60, where there is an infant with a respiratory rate of 60, where there is 0.5 second is the time to end inspiration and 0.5 second is the time for expiration. So how come oxygen reach? Babies are getting all right. I have seen many bronchiolitis with respiratory rate 50, 60, 70, ठीक है, वो तो अच्छा हो गया, चला गया घर. So how it happens? So probably that laminar flow in the lower airway is the answer. So when inspiratory time has reduced to 0.5 second only, just imagine 0.5 second in respiratory rate 60. If the respiratory rate is 80, then it is 0.4 second or something less than 0.4 second. Then how the oxygen reaches the alveoli? Probably laminar flow is the answer, because I have seen many babies are all right within 4, 5, 6 days. So this is the snapshot of laminar flow. Now little bit more elaborate explanation. So just concentrate on this equation, that there is a number popularly known as Reynolds number. If the Reynolds number is less than 1000 or less than 2000, it is laminar flow. The Reynolds number is more than 2000, it is your turbulent flow. So another thing I'd like to highlight here, that if respiratory tract is populated with lots of secretion, then your lower airway may not have laminar flow, because this respiratory secretion obstruct each column of air, and it causes a turbulent flow, and thereby there is more damage. Turbulent flow causes more damage. So probably it is one of the pathogenesis. It is one of the pathogenesis of bronchiectasis in cystic fibrosis or any chronic suppurative lung disease, with lots of where there is internal diameter is zigzag and irregular, uneven, and there are lots of secretions, thick secretions. So this is probably one of the explanation of generation of bronchiectasis in cystic fibrosis. So now concentrate on this equation. So Reynolds number will be more in case of high diameter. If the diameter is more, then velocity will be more, central velocity will be more, and the Reynolds number will be more. So God has created our respiratory tract in such a way that in smaller airway, Reynolds number will be less than 2000. Reynolds number will be less than 2000. So here physics speaks the phenomena that lower airway generates a lower Reynolds number, thereby it is a streamline, and probably the streamline, in streamline flow, oxygen can reach too far. And if it is turbulent, oxygen cannot reach too far, because here it is disturbed, it cannot go too far. This is first demonstrated by your Osborne-Reynolds. So this is the concept of Reynolds number. So now probably the resident will tell me that, sir, how high flow, hot humidified high flow HHHNC is working, because it is high flow. Yes, it is high flow, but it is very much within the control of the patient. So patient is taking spontaneous breath. So in case of spontaneous breath, whatever high flow is limited to up to 10 generation or maximum 12 generation. Subsequently branching are such that your turbulent flow is still working, streamline flow is still working, and probably this is the cause of not too much turbulence in AJ. The main advantage of HHHNC or high flow, any high flow, is it will reduce the work done, because it will create a mechanical splinting of the airway, so that airway will not collapse. So it will give a prevention of airway collapse, as well as less work done. So after giving high flow, I have seen that immediately within 1 hour, a respiratory rate of 60 or 70, baby sleeps. Baby goes to sleep. So this is my last slide. I think today it is more lucid with picture. If there is any question, you can tell me. Or residents.
Large airways turbulent flow হচ্ছে 10 generation অবধি, তারপরে সেই turbulent flowটাই laminar হয়ে যাচ্ছে.
Yes, due to the turbulent flow, laminar flow, it depends on the diameter, because diameter and angulations. Diameter and angulations probably is responsible for laminar flow, and as a result, it is reaching too far.
Jaydev, last slide টা একবার দেখাতো।
Last slide.
Last slide.
Last slide, madam. এটাতে ওই ইয়েটা দেখানো হয়েছে, ওই if you open the tap at its fullest extent, there will be turbulent flow, and Reynolds number more than 2000 is turbulent, and anything less than 2000, এটা এক একটা জায়গায় এক রকম লেখা আছে, কোন জায়গায় 1500 লেখা আছে, কোন জায়গায় 2000 লেখা আছে।
আচ্ছা,
স্টেডি ফ্লো।
আচ্ছা, এটাই লাস্ট স্লাইড ছিল?
এটা লাস্ট স্লাইড,
ঠিক আছে।
না এটা দেখতে যাচ্ছি, ম্যাচুরিটি ওইটা দেখতে যাচ্ছি।
স্যার ম্যাচুরিটি
এইটা কি ছিল? এটা
এটাও
এই যে-
সেম, এটাও
না না এর
সেম।
পরেরটা, এর পরেরটা দেখা।
এটা
এইটাই।
না এর পরেরটা।
এরপর থ্যাংক ইউ
ওই
স্লাইড,
maturity
থ্যাংক
চাইছে,
ইউ,
এটাই
থ্যাংক
তো
ইউ
চাইছে।
স্লাইড।
ও বাবা,
না না থ্যাংক ইউ
বলছিল
স্লাইড
তো
না,
ওটা
একটা একটা স্ট্রেট স্ট্রেট কি দেখালি, একটা কার্ভ লাইন মতো
ও
দেখালি।
এইটা এইটা
Colour?
এটা দেখিয়েছি, এই যে এটা,
না না আরেকটা দেখ, এর পরেরটা দেখ।
এইটাই তো
হ্যাঁ এইটা।
হ্যাঁ।
ও এটা ওইটা বললি যেটা ওই
এটা রেনল্ডস এক্সপেরিমেন্ট। হ্যাঁ, ও
okay,
ও দেখিয়েছে যে কে স্ট্রেট লাইনে যায়, কে স্ট্রেট লাইনে যায় না।
ঠিক আছে ওকে।
কান্নাকাটি করলে টার্বুলেন্ট,
না
এইটাই
একটু
হচ্ছে মোদ্দা কথা।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
কান্নাকাটি করলে
হ্যাঁ,
টার্বুলেন্ট, কান্নাকাটি না
বেশি
করলে
হবে, টার্বুলেন্সটা
হ্যাঁ,
বেশি হবে। হ্যাঁ,
এই হবে। ব্রঙ্কুলাইটিস বেবি, যত তুই ইরিটেট করবি, তাকে এক্সামিন করবি, খোঁচাবি, নাকে নল ঢোকাবি, এখানে এ দিবি, ওখানে ও দিবি, কাঁদবে, টার্বুলেন্ট ফ্লো, কম অক্সিজেন যাবে। আর যত শান্ত রাখবি, মার করে রাখবি, কিছু করবি না, লেস ইন্টারফারেন্স মিন্স মোর অ্যামাউন্ট অফ অক্সিজেন ইজ গোইং। এইটাই বোধহয় মোদ্দা কথা।
তুই যদি সিগারেটটাকে খুব আস্তে টানিস
হ্যাঁ,
তোর লাংসের এলভিওলাইতে যাবে, আর তুই যদি জোরে টানিস তাহলে তুই দেখবি তোর মুখেই
গলা থেকে ইয়ে যাবে।
গলাতেই থেকে যাবে। তো কিন্তু আমার একটাই প্রশ্ন জয়দীপ, যে তুই এগুলো পড়লি কোথায়, বইটা কি, কোথায় রেফারেন্সেস গুলো পেলি, কোথায় ছবিগুলো পেলি? আমি একবার চেষ্টা করব মানে যে আমার বুদ্ধি যে কত কম সেটা বোঝার জন্য।
না কি বলছেন স্যার?
এই
এটা
ব্যাধি-
কোয়েশ্চন, এটা স্যার ওই আমি যখন 10 বছরের অস্কির কোয়েশ্চন দেখলাম না, তখন এগুলো এসছে। তো তো ওরা বললো যে এগুলো কভার করে আপনি পড়ান। তো তো এগুলো কভার করতে গিয়ে একটু পড়লাম, তারপরে বললাম যে দেখি আইসিএইচ ওদেরকে জানে কিনা, ওদেরকে করি।
না, তুই এটা কোন বই থেকে পড়লি সেটাই তো জিজ্ঞেস করছে,
না
বইটা কি?
এটা হচ্ছে ওই আপেরই দুটো বই আছে। আমরা যে নীল রঙের বইটা লাইব্রেরিতে আছে,
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ,
আপের একটা লাল বই আছে, ওটা পিডিএফ আছে, আমি তাহলে পাঠাবো আপনার কাছে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
এতে অনেক জিনিস লেখা আছে ফিজিক্সের। ওইটাও
হ্যাঁ,
এরকম 1000-1500 পাতা মোটা বই।
আমাদের আইসিএইচ একটা পয়সেলিউ ছিল, মনে আছে মায়াদি, অক্সিজেন দিয়ে দিয়ে বেড়াতো,
হ্যাঁ
ট্যানারি রাত হলে ট্যানারি একটু অক্সিজেন দিয়ে দাও।
ও ট্যানারি, হ্যাঁ।
ট্যানারির
না,
পেছনে আমরা
একবার কি
ঘুরতাম।
করেছে, ভালো বাচ্চাকে দিয়ে দিয়েছে, পাশে খারাপ বাচ্চা, ও